I gave you chances, more than I should have, and you threw them in my face. This is where we part ways.
Don't you dare give up now! I know what that pain feels like! I know how to absorb that pain!
Yeah, I'm making a video on why you shouldn't load your last save. In narrative-driven games like Baldur's Gate 3, the characters that you control are not just vessels for gameplay, but they're intricate individuals with their own personalities, backgrounds, and goals. That's including the character that you yourself made at the very beginning of the game, and you need to make sure that you're accepting the choices and the consequences for the actions that you make in the game. Your actions have direct impacts on your entire party's beliefs, their motivations, everything that you're doing in the story, as well as, well, the relationships with other characters in the game. You have to keep in mind that this story is incredibly engaging, and they're trying to make sure that there are numerous branching paths and outcomes for every single thing that you do. So simply just re-rolling the die or loading the last save and picking a different narrative option kind of, well, makes a lot of that useless. There are so many different endings to this game. There are 174 hours of cinematic dialogue, and making sure that you're doing your best to take advantage of as much of it as you possibly can in one playthrough is a little bit too much. Take your time, make your choices, stick with your choices, and use that as the foundation that builds your party and drives that story forward. Now, I promise I'm not crazy with this. Keep in mind, with all of the other videos that you've probably watched by now, or maybe even some of the ones that I've done myself, this is a very dynamic world that you're taking part in, where every single choice that you make impacts the world, the story, just about everything, every single move that you make. So constantly using that choice in the wrong way kind of ends up diluting the entire gameplay and kind of kills a lot of the replayability that you could have later on. If you know the outcome for every single choice that you can make, well then what's the point of playing the game a second time or a third time or a fourth and a fifth and a sixth and a seventh and an eighth? Which brings me to my second point, which is meaningful decision making. Baldur's Gate 3 presents players with numerous moral dilemmas where decisions are rarely black and white. By living with the outcomes, players are forced to confront these ethical implications of their choices. This adds a layer of complexity to the game as, well, we have to navigate through these difficult situations that really don't have very many easy answers. And this is what makes each journey unique, because every single player's journey in Baldur's Gate 3 is unique. It's shaped by the choices that we make throughout the game. Reloading to change that decision can only lead to a really cookie-cutter experience that really robs you of the opportunity to craft your own individual story. Embracing the consequences encourages you to commit to choices, making every decision feel weighty and more significant as a result of it. And this is something that many people, myself included, have been saying has been missing from games for so long, and it's these weighty decisions that really make every single moment of gameplay feel like our own. And it doesn't have to be just a specific story necessarily, but there's something about sitting back and reflecting on choices that you're making in the game. What dialogue options you're going to pick, what class choice that you're going to make, what race choice that you're going to make, whatever it might be, what path you choose to take. The problem is that there's so many games today that have these cookie cutter experiences. Everything is on rails. We don't get many opportunities to play games where our choices actually matter. And that's what really makes this game and this experience so incredibly valuable. Just loading a save? Well, that really diminishes that value. Now, my next point is that you're playing an RPG. It's in the title. It's a role-playing game. One of the core aspects to Baldur's Gate 3 is its emphasis on authentic role-playing. Embracing consequences of your choices reinforces this element. This allows you to really inhabit the role of your character. It's just like in real life. People make decisions based on their emotions, the values, the information that they have available at the time. By living with the outcome of their choices, players can create characters that feel a lot more human, flawed, and, well, relatable as a result. This encourages a deeper investment in your own story, the story that you have been crafting, that personal experience, the main driving factor of why many people are coming to play Baldur's Gate 3 in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that I'm expecting you to be sitting at your computer or at your PlayStation dressed in full cosplay while you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, but mean, the idea of you playing this game in the first place is to have this personalized experience, and role-playing as your character, kind of coming up with the idea of what the moral compass of that character is going to be, well, that's kind of all of the fun of the game. Speaking of,
I am planning to voice act my own character. Every single line in the game. Maybe even add a few of my own. So, if you would, in the comments section below, write me a backstory, a class, and maybe yours will be the one that I pick. And if it is, a video series may pop up on this channel for just that character.
but also at the same time, the other thing that I'd like to talk about is the fact that, well, if you're constantly going back and redoing these choices, it kind of also defeats the idea of surprise and adaptability that we also get from playing Baldur's Gate 3. Sometimes things happen that you just didn't expect to happen. That's the point, when you click the button and all of a sudden the choice that comes up isn't what you thought it was going to be. This is the fun of the game. When something you didn't expect happens, you have to adapt. You have to figure it out. You have to talk with your friends if you're playing with other people, or you have to sit back and reflect, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out of this situation? What direction is this going to take me in the game? If you're constantly going back and redoing every single choice over and over and over again, well, it's just going to ruin that. And speaking of surprise, the other thing is that embracing your consequences also opens the door to exploration and discovery. See, instead of just reloading to avoid unfavorable outcomes, you're going to be encouraged to forge ahead and explore the alternative path, making every single playthrough a completely different adventure, with new hidden treasures and surprises and characters and all kinds of different things. By accepting your consequences, you're going to become more curious and invested in that game world. You're going to be more motivated to seek out different choices and experience different outcomes, unearth unique storylines and quests that you may have missed in previous playthroughs. This sense of exploration not only adds replayability, but it also allows you to see the game from a completely fresh narrative perspective. This enriches your understanding of the intricate plot that is going to be Baldur's Gate 3, and it also gives you that many more characters to encounter throughout the game. See, this is the whole point about having a character like the Dark Urge, for instance, that kind of backstory. Not many players are going to hop into the game and think to themselves, I wonder what would happen if I just murdered my own party. Most people don't play like that. I'm sure some of you crazy people do, but most people don't. And the question becomes, well, what does that mean? What does happen? How impactful were those characters going to be in the story of the game to begin with? Is the story just about you, or is it about them? Who knows? That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of taking chances and trying different strategies and thinking up different paths that you can take throughout the game. That's the whole point of playing a D&D game or playing Baldur's Gate or a CRPG. It's the beauty of playing these narrative-driven games. See, the other thing is that I realize that a lot of people, I feel, are probably going to try to make those load save choices based on romantic decisions. However, if you're really trying to romanticize some of these characters, well, the job is on you to really learn everything that you can about them. Learn their mannerisms, learn the things that they like and that they don't like. Try to find out what motivates them, and then make the choices based on that. And then if you couldn't bag them, better luck next time, champ. Look, I know that everybody's going to play the game however they want to play. You guys are going to load the save or not load the save. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. The only thing we really care about is if we enjoy the game. And I know for a fact that every single one of us is going to absolutely enjoy this game. I cannot wait for it. I'm making videos about it, and I'm just coming up with stuff off the top of my head just because I'm that excited. I can't stop thinking about the game. I just can't wait to play it. I really can't. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. If you didn't, that's cool too. Outside of that, if there's anything you guys would like to see me cover regarding Baldur's Gate 3 or maybe some other game, please do let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'm still very much a fledgling content creator. I've only been doing this for about 6 or 7 months. So, guide me, please. Yeah. So outside of that, stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe, my friends. Peace.